steps in data processing. What are the various steps in data processing? So this question can also be expected for 10 marks under section B. There will be 3 internals, internals 1, internals 2 and internals 3. That is for 20 marks. So each exam is for 20 marks. Next, data collection methods. So here also we have various methods like observations, survey, interview and questionnaire design. Hello everyone, I am Harshita, lecturer, Department of Commerce, Vidhyaashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence, Mysuru. My dear students, today we shall have a brief introduction about the subject, that is Business Research Method, and this is for 5th Sem BCom students. So let us see what are the units that comes under this subject, what would be the question paper pattern, what are the concepts that you are going to learn under this subject in detail in this particular session. Now we shall see the syllabus of this particular subject. So you'll be having total 6 units, that is unit 1 to unit 6. So your unit 1 is all about introduction to business research. And my dear student, this is basically a theory subject. So in your first unit, you are going to learn about business research in detail because you have not learned it before. You are going to learn for the first time. So in your first unit, you are going to learn about business research in detail. So that is introduction to business research. And your unit 2 is business research design. So how would be the design of the business research? So that you are going to learn under your second unit. Unit 3 is data collection. Of course, now what do you mean by business research? Suppose if an organization is having a particular problem, so they have to solve the problem, right? So how they will solve the problem? So in order to solve the problem, they have to collect sufficient information so that the problem can be solved. So that collection of information to a particular problem in an organization or in a particular department is called as what? Business research. So in your third unit, you are going to learn about data collection. So how we are going to collect that information, how we are going to collect that data. So that is your third unit. Next, the fourth unit is sampling and hypothesis testing. So this would be a fourth unit and a very important unit. Next, the fifth unit is data analysis and the sixth unit is research report. So these are the few units that comes under this particular subject, business research method. Now let us see the learning outcome. So what would be the learning outcome? So after going through each and every unit under business research method, what you will be able to understand? So that is nothing but learning outcome. So after going through each and every concept, you will be able to understand and learn the concept of business research. So you should be able to analyze what is this business research is all about. Next is understand the concept of business research design and data collection. And the next one is learn about sampling and hypothesis testing. So next you will learn the concept of data analysis and research report. So after going all the 6 units, you will be able to understand as well as analyze all these concepts in detail. So that is about learning outcome. Now we shall come to the first unit. Your first unit under this subject is Introduction to Business Research. Now let us see what are the concepts you are going to learn under this particular unit. So you will learn meaning, types, criteria of good research. So in order to call it as a good research, so what are the criteria? So what are the qualities to be there? So that you'll learn in detail. So you'll learn the meaning, you'll learn the definition of business research, you'll learn what is the criteria of good research. Next concept is scientific approach to research in physical as well as management science. So when compared to business research, how this scientific research is different. So whether that scientific research can be applied to business research or not. So that you will learn in this concept. Next, limitations of applying scientific methods in business research method. So why can't we apply science or a scientific research to business research method? So what are its limitations? So that we'll learn here. Next, ethical issues in business research. Next, research process as well as problem formulation and preparation of business research plan or business research proposal. So these are the few important concepts that you are going to learn in your first unit. I have already told you, in your first unit you are going to learn in detail about business research. So this is your first unit. Now coming to the second unit, that is business research design. So let us see what is this business research design. Under that you are going to learn about types of business research. Under types of business research, you are going to learn about exploratory, descriptive as well as casual research. So these are the types of business research. Next, under exploratory research, you will learn in detail what is the meaning of exploratory research, suitability, collection, hypothesis and formulation of exploratory research. Now, next type is descriptive research. So here also you are going to learn about meaning of descriptive research, types of descriptive studies, data collection methods. And the next type is casual research. Here also you are going to learn about the meaning, various types of experimental designs, types of errors affecting research design. So here you are mainly going to learn about the types of business research, that is exploratory, descriptive as well as casual research. That is second unit, business research design. Now coming to the third unit, data collection. Of course, I have told you, in order to solve a particular problem, they have to collect sufficient data. So how this data has been collected? So that you'll learn in your third unit, that is primary and secondary data. So here the data can be either primary data or secondary data. And what are the sources of collecting primary and secondary data? What are its advantages and disadvantages? Next, data collection methods. So here also we have various methods like observations, survey, interview and questionnaire design. Next topic is qualitative techniques of data collection. So you are going to learn about it in this particular unit, that is qualitative techniques of data collection. Next is measurement and scaling techniques. Under that you are going to learn about nominal scale, ordinal scale, interval scale as well as rating scale. Next, we will learn about criteria for good measurement and attitude measurement. So these are the few important topics you are going to learn under your third unit, that is data collection. Now coming to the fourth unit, sampling and hypothesis testing. So here you are going to learn about sampling. So what is sampling? What is the meaning of sampling? Steps in sampling process. Types of sampling. So it may be probability as well as non-probability sampling techniques, errors in sampling. So you'll learn about types of sampling where there are two main types like probability as well as non-probability sampling. Next, you will learn about hypothesis. So here you will learn about meaning, types, characteristics, sources, formulation of hypothesis, errors in hypothesis testing. So these are the few important concepts you are going to learn under your fourth unit, that is about sampling and hypothesis testing. Now coming to the fifth unit, you are going to learn about data analysis. So how we are going to analyze the data. So here you will learn the concepts like editing, coding, classification, tabulation and univariate, bivariate and multivariate analysis, interpretation. So these are the how we are going to analyze the data. You have collected the data, now you have to analyze the data. So in this unit you are going to discuss in detail or learn in detail how we are going to analyze the data, and these are the few important concepts. Next, last chapter or the last unit is research report. So you have collected the data, analyzed the data, now you have to prepare the research report. So that you learn in this particular unit. So you learn about types of research report, advantages and disadvantages, components of research report, format, chapterization, language, referencing. So these are the few important concepts you are going to learn under this particular unit, that is unit 6, research report. Now we have seen all the units that comes under your 5th SEM BCom, that is business research method. So what are the units you are going to discuss? Now we shall see the question paper pattern from the external examination point of view. So your whole business research method paper is for 100 marks, where 80 marks is for external exam and 20 marks is for internal examination. So 80 marks is for external exam and 20 marks is for internal exam. Now let us see the external examination question paper pattern. So you are familiar about it. So you will be having 3 sections, that is section A, section B and section C. Under section A is for 15 marks, section B is for 10 marks and section C is for 5 marks. So under section A, so they will ask 4 questions of 15 marks, out of which you have to answer any 2 questions. That is for 15 marks. So they will ask 15 marks 4 questions, out of which you have to answer any 2. Now coming to section B, that is for 10 marks. So they will ask 5 10 marks questions, out of which you have to answer any 3 questions. Now coming to section C, that is for 5 marks, where they will ask 6 questions, out of which you have to answer any of the 4 questions. So here under section A, you can expect 30 marks, that is 15 into 2, where you are going to answer 15 marks 2 questions, and section B 10 marks 3 questions, that is 10 into 3 30. Next 5 marks 4 question, that is 5 into 4 20. So the whole external examination is for 80 marks. And the remaining 20 marks is your internal examination. So let us see how the internal examination will be and what are its portions. So here there will be 3 internals, internals 1, internals 2 and internals 3. That is for 20 marks. So each exam is for 20 marks. So if you see the portions here, for internals 1, you will be having unit 1 and unit 2. So your unit 1 is Introduction to Business Research and unit 2 is Business Research Design. That is for internals 1. Coming to internals 2, you will be having unit 3 and unit 4. Unit 3 is Data Collection and unit 4 is Sampling and Hypothesis Testing. That is your unit or internals 2, where you can expect unit 3 and unit 4. Next, internals 3, that is unit 5 and unit 6. Data analysis is your unit 5 and unit 6 is research report. As I have already told you, each internals is conducted for 20 marks. Then how we are going to award that 20 marks? On an average of all the 3 internals. So the final marks will be awarded on the average of all the 3 internals. That is for 20 marks will be awarded on the average of all the 3 internals. So this is about your internal examination, which is for 20 marks. Okay. So we have learned how would be your external examination and how would be your internal exam. Now coming to unit wise or chapter wise marks allotment. So in this particular subject, totally you are going to have 6 units. So let us see unit wise what is the marks allotment. So in your first unit, you can expect a very important question for 15 marks. Now coming to unit 2, you can expect a 10 marks question. That is from unit 2. Coming to unit 3, very important unit. That is where you can expect 15 marks 3 question and 10 marks 2 questions. Next unit 4, 10 marks 1 question and 5 marks 1 question. Next unit 5, 10 marks 1 question and 5 marks 2 questions. Next unit 6, 10 marks 1 question and 5 marks 1 question. So these are the unit wise marks allotment from the external examination point of view. Now let us see what is the most expected questions under part A, that is for 15 marks. So you know part A is for 15 marks. So let us see the important questions or the most expected questions. So if you see the previous year question paper, what are the most expected questions they have asked for 15 marks? So you can expect a question on steps involved in business research process. So what are the various steps which are involved in business research process? So here business research is not an easy task. It is a step-by-step procedure. So we have to go through each and every step. So your 15 marks is for you are going to or you have to write what are the steps involved in business research process. Next 15 marks important question is sources of primary data collection. So what are the various sources in order to collect the primary data? Next, third question is meaning and methods of scaling techniques. So this is also one of the important question for 15 marks. And the next one is steps involved in designing a questionnaire. So in order to prepare a questionnaire, now here what the researcher will do in order to collect the data, he will give the questionnaire to the respondents and respondent will fill that questionnaire and return back to the researcher. So what are the steps involved in designing a questionnaire? So this is also one of the important 15 marks question. Now coming to section B, that is for 10 marks. 10 marks. Let us see some of the important questions they have asked in your previous question paper for 10 marks. So the first question is role of business research in decision making process. So what are the main role? What is the main role which is involved in, or what is the main role of business research in decision making? Next question is various sources of secondary data. So primary data is for 15 marks, whereas secondary data, sources of secondary data is for 10 marks. The next one is factor influencing the sample size. So what are the various factors which influence the sample size? And the next one is difference between questionnaire and observation. So what is the difference between questionnaire and observation? And the next one is steps in data processing. What are the various steps in data processing? So this question can also be expected for 10 marks under section B. Now coming to section C, that is for 5 marks. So you can expect note on these particular topics, that is note on chi-square test and note on analysis of variance, that is ANOVA, and the next one is Likert scale, and the next one is time series analysis, that is note on time series analysis, and the next one is note on cluster analysis, note on survey. So as I've told you, this is basically a theory subject where you are going to expect only theory questions. So here also you are going to get small questions, that is questions relating to, or they might ask it as note on particular topics, that is note on survey, note on cluster analysis. So like that, the questions may be asked for 5 marks. So these are the most expected questions under section C, that is for 5 marks. Now let us see what are the books for reference. So in order to go through the concepts of this particular subject, you can refer these or some of the books here. So the book name is Business Research Method. That is, your first book is Business Research Method and the author is S.N. Murthy and Bojanna, U. Bojanna. And the next one is Marketing Research. So this is the book name and the author is Naresh K. Malhotra. And the third book is Research Methodology. Book name is Research Methodology and the author is C.R. Kothari. So these are the few books you can refer for this particular subject, Business Research Method. My dear students, hope we had a brief introduction about the subject. See you all in my next session. Till then, take care. Thank you.